Hi everyone, I'm here with the fabulous Lorraine Goldblum, and
Fabulous.
you're definitely fabulous. Our
You're too
friendly
kind, Maya.
neighborhood Vortex Healing teacher, and we're here to have just a conversation between us that we want to share with all of you. So I'm going to hand it over to you now, Lorraine.
Hey, well, good morning. And thanks for talking. I needed someone to talk to. I really did. And, I've been wanting to do more writing, and I just haven't been able to. I don't know how you're doing. It's been a really rough stretch. Everything that's going on these days with the election. We're recording this Friday morning. And, things are starting to turn towards Biden, but nothing's been decided. Tensions are high. We're looking at a country that's very divided. Protests are happening. And I think for me, it really is bringing up a lot of issues about feeling safe and trust. Like trust in the divine has been sort of a theme I've been working with for my own personal work and something that we've been talking about in class. And you had the wonderful idea to change the themes of the pop-up healings. And since COVID started, we've been doing feeling safe during crisis. And it was your brilliant idea to say, hey, let's change the topic to trust, because I think that's something that people need to work with right now.
And I think trust also has to do so much with feeling safe. Like when we're able to trust, there's a sense, I think, on a whole body level as well, where you can just relax, just even slightly, even in things like, this is what I love about you. You're willing to get real and talk about what's going on in the world right now
Yeah.
and how it affects us. And yes, even though I'm in Canada, you do still feel the impact in the world no matter where you are, because also, like, firstly, it's a big event that impacts so many lives, and it impacts lives not just in the US,
That's
but
right.
in the whole world. So it's like this situation, definitely the whole world is watching.
Absolutely it is. And, the whole design of the issue series was to meet people where they are, and so started with sort of just talking about universal issues and loss and anxiety and depression. And then, since COVID, sort of restructured the issue series to meet people where they are in the moment, to talk about, okay, what is happening now during COVID? What are the issues that are coming up? And safety was the first thing we wanted to meet. And we did, and we talked about we did a 5-week series talking about the overwhelm and just what was going on with people. And then we moved into the anger and social injustice series and the having courage to be series. And now here we are facing the issue of trust. And I've been thinking about, yes, exploring why you don't feel safe is sort of brought in the question of, okay, what don't I trust is going to happen? What is the relationship with the divine? That is a question I've been putting out to classes recently, because if you explore your relationship with the divine, the relationship with God, it says a lot about your relationship with life and your relationship with other people. You begin to sort of see these very obvious themes where trust has been broken. And I guess what I wanted to do during this time, I just feel like it's going to be a very difficult winter for so many of us. We're going into the holidays where many of us have lost people. It's the first holiday season, without our loved ones, and, flu season and all of that. And I just felt like I wanted to do a kind of weekend intensive about coming through the dark night of the soul. I mean, we've all heard that term, right? And I've been exploring what that means, and my own experience of a kind of crash that you've heard me talk about. I've talked about in classes, a period a couple of years ago where I got into this place of hopelessness. I got into this place of just thinking, I don't know what this is. I don't know if I can ever feel connected again. I don't know if I can open my heart again. And just the work with that and the issues that came up around that, I think a lot of people resonate with that, especially now. So I want to talk about what that is, what that looks like. Of course, offer the guided meditation and healing, and talk about what it looks like to come through that, what that really means, and how that's a natural part of the spiritual process, but what to do when you're there. And I think with everything going on, so many of us are facing that.
Yeah, absolutely. The dark night of the soul is such a real thing, and that despair and hopelessness you're talking about. I think there's very few of us that haven't ever experienced that.
Yeah.
I know with the holiday season, as you mentioned, like I used to volunteer for 8 years as support for suicide and homicide bereavement, grief facilitation. And this was always the part of the year that was the hardest.
It's the hardest.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
The associations we also have with Christmas, like I should be happy or I should be in a celebratory place. And when you see people celebrating, I mean, with COVID, I think that's a little different now, but still just that sense of, well, this is a festive occasion.
Yeah.
I'm going through what I'm going through. And there's a kind of sometimes judgment as well that happens.
There is. You're absolutely right. There's this I should be feeling this way. The rest of the world is happy. And so our issues, whatever we have going on, gets heightened. You know, loneliness was a topic we did this time last year, talking about the loneliness that happens when it seems like everyone else is with family, with loved ones, you know, partners. The loneliness that's always there really comes to the surface, and it can become overwhelming during the winter, the holidays, all that kind of thing. Depression, you know, is hard to avoid. And I think this season in particular will be difficult for so many reasons. And so I wanted to bring the community together and just address that. And just offer right now that I think facing this dark night of the soul is a natural part of the spiritual process. You know, as difficult as it is, it happens for people who are exploring and seeking the connection and really have the courage to face their issues, you know, and these things come up. And if we can really meet it with love and compassion, coming through that is incredibly transformative. And people come through, you know, because that experience of separation and pain is an experience that we awaken through.
When you were talking, I was thinking about, like, when you talk about trust and when you talk about this, is really resilience. You're talking about resilience, like how, because of trust and feeling even safe in situations when you can't control the outside situation, but you still have some semblance of safety or trust inside. And it's like, okay, things can not be okay. And maybe I'm not okay as well, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I can still, you know, like be here breath by breath and be as present as is possible for me to be. I mean, given that trauma and everything definitely affect that. But, you know, as much as we can help people embody that resilience so that they're able to feel even the tiniest bit of centering in whatever is going on, whether it's the US election, whether it's all the stuff that comes up around Christmas time, and especially when the two of them are merged like that. I think the issue series is coming at such a potent time to meet people in their process, as you said. And it's, as being someone who's participated in them, I think the aspect that you have of having the conversation with participants as well, so people can actually talk about what's going on, maybe show themselves in such a vulnerable way as well, just to be like, yeah, this is what's happening inside me, and this is what I'm going through, and hearing from each other, which really builds that community aspect as well. We are in this together as a community, which again, I also think is a part of resilience.
Yeah, and I love that you use that word resilience. That's so true. I think that, you know, the discussions of the issue series are so important. I've been so impressed with the level of maturity that has been brought to the table, that people can talk about what is going on with them without going into, you know, the detailed story, that they can sort of cut to the essence of what is happening, and that everyone resonates with that. And it's very helpful to hear someone else speak, because you know that, oh, I'm going through the same thing, and we're going through this as a community, and there's support out there, and we understand. And so that's a big part of why this format works so well. And then there's sort of the idea that you've heard me talk about, is just coming to feel safe with not feeling okay. You know, I feel poor, I'm struggling, I have issues, but that's okay. That's part of the process. So a big part of what the issue series talks about is changing your relationship to the issues. And in talking about this idea of trust that's so important, you know, changing the perspective and trying to find a trust, oh, this is going to work out, you know, the way I want it to, or the way that makes me feel comfortable, versus this is going to work out on a bigger level. You know, trusting that there's a bigger picture that you may not understand, that this is part of that play. And letting go into the unknown like that, well, of course, we're going to hit up against trust issues. Just to say, I really don't know what the bigger picture is or why this is happening, but it's happening. Just that unknown is terrifying. And that's where I want to meet people and support that experience. So we're gonna, the coming through the dark night of the soul in December, and these pop-up healings are gonna keep happening with this theme of trust for a while, trusting in the divine and exploring that relationship. You know, where don't I trust? Where do I shut down from life? Where do I shut down from my relationship with the divine? Because it is a relationship. You know, it is, there are expectations. You know, the divine loves me if I'm successful. The divine loves me, you know, or rewards me for being good, or punishes me for being bad. You know, just posing those questions, you know, what is that for me? What is my relationship with the divine, is very revealing about how we live our lives, and where and how we're open, and where we shut down.
I'm thrilled that you're doing these events, because I love participating in them and I get so much out of them. It's been really like, it's met me so consistently in my journey, and Vortex Healing has done so much for me in my life. And just like you said, it's changed me in relationship to my issues, where I can be so much more present. So my capacity to be there through painful events as well as through joy has
Yeah.
expanded, because I know that when you shut off to one thing, you're shutting off to many different things. So just being able to be like, I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm here for it. And
Yeah. Well,
that
that makes me
with
so happy.
anxiety, right? Like it might be with anxiety, it might be with all that, but can I come back to myself when I'm experiencing that? And it's just Vortex Healing has really helped me with that. It's been life changing in that way. So
Vortex
that's,
healing is amazing. You know, I
it
mean, it gives you the tools, you
really
know, to meet the issues, but you know, the awakening aspect of awakening through our issues, you know, the ability to meet the stuff with presence, with compassion, recognizing it for what it is, which is an experience of separation, but not the truth of what you are. So, you know, it allows us to meet our stuff and bring tools to it and come through it. It's just an extraordinary gift in my life. And so being able to share it in this way is amazing. And our community is really extraordinary. And watching them come together, people are doing great work. Students are getting together, doing global work, a lot of earth work. Anthony Gorman is organizing all that wonderful earth work group. You know, Galen is doing a lot of amazing work. She and I have done frontliner healings, and I know she's working very hard. So, you know, and students are organizing their own groups for hospital work, and I'm just so impressed with the people in this community and how they're using the work to, you know, support each other and the world. It's amazing.
It is really beautiful. As some of you know, I do the registrations for pop-ups, and just to talk to the community regularly through that as well. Like some of them I've really built relationships with now, where we have conversations when they register as well. And it's just lovely to be connected and part of such a wonderful community that is willing to get their hands in. into what's, again, like I said at the beginning, right? Like, to talk about what's real, what is
Yeah.
going on, to be involved in the world, and actually do whatever we can to take our tools, to take whatever we've got, and with heart really come to the forefront of the issue and meet it and say, I'm here to do the work.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's exciting, interesting times.
It definitely are. And this has been such a wonderful conversation with you. I
Yeah,
really appreciated it, and I hope we have many more to come like this that we can
I'd
share.
really like that. It's very helpful, I think, just to share what's going on right here, right now. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
That sounds great. Well, to all of you out there, I hope you enjoyed our conversation, and we'll be seeing you soon, hopefully in the issue series.
All right. Take
Lorraine,
care,
did you want
everyone.
to say something about when it is or anything like that? Is there
Yeah,
anything?
it's going to be the first part of December, so you'll be hearing about it in a newsletter coming up. So make sure you're on the website. We hope to send out a newsletter within the next week with dates and times and details and all of that.
And I'll post all of that on social media as well. Some graphics for you all. Take care, everyone.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks so much.